Hi everybody, Alex Apploy here from Expert Forex, and in this video we're going to be talking about robot trading surprises. And these surprises are a result of a lack of experience and, most importantly, misconceptions about robot trading. So one of the biggest jobs for us as robot traders is to reprogram beginner and experienced robot traders with the truth, because a lot of them come to this field with a lot of misconceptions and baggage, and they literally have to have a mind clean. So let's have a look at some of those concepts. And I'm going to go through these pretty quickly, not in too much detail, but enough detail to let you know why these are misconceptions that can cause you a lot of money in your trading. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Robots generally make money every day, every week, and every month without fail. Now, this is a misconception that exists amongst a lot of traders. They buy a robot, they plug it in, and in day one, it makes a small loss. So in day two, it makes a small loss. And then they come to us and say, this robot is rubbish. It doesn't make profits. And they don't understand the rhythm of the market. The robots go through losing phases and winning phases. Murphy's Law is very powerful in robot trading because it states that if you start trading a robot, you're going to be starting it in the wrong phase of the market. Anyway, let's move to the next one. Perfect settings exist and will make the robot profitable. So a lot of traders believe there are these secret settings that will make profits every day, every week, every month, and you can plug them into any currency, any time frame, and they will just work. Now, settings are created from historic price movements, so there is no guarantee that what happened in the past will happen into the future. So forget about this misconception that there are these perfect settings. Next one. Trading one robot strategy will make you wealthy. Many traders that start out in robot trading buy one robot, use one set of settings on their account, and expect to do extremely well. Now, if they're lucky, and the chances are very small at that, they will do well if they've caught it in the right phase of the market. But if you want consistent results, one robot, one strategy is not going to make you wealthy. You will sooner or later experience a phase of the market that will cause huge drawdowns in your account. So the idea is to actually trade portfolios of not only different strategies, but also different EAs. So the next point is related to that. The settings that worked the very best last year or last month will be the best to trade next week or the next month. Now, that just does not happen because price action can change from day to day. The one day the currency could be trending, the other day it could be trading sideways, and the other day it could be reversing. So there is no such thing as saying these settings made me $1 million last week, therefore they are going to make me $1 million this week. Next misconception. Robot trading takes almost no effort. All you need to do is buy a robot and plug it in, and it will just make you money forever and ever. That is the biggest misconception that there is. Robot trading takes a lot of work. If done professionally and properly, it involves creating various portfolios and knowing how to adjust your robot when things are going excessively well or when things are not going too well. You need to know how to handle those situations and manage risk over a long period of time. So robot trading does take a lot of effort, and if you're coming in on this buy and plug, set and forget basis, that will not see you through in the long run. It is, however, very good to do that, to get to know how robots trade on demo accounts, because it breaks the ice for you. You can learn how the robot works, but it is not going to make you wealthy and sustain you over years. Next misconception. You can simply copy successful traders or settings and make a fortune. Now, the sad thing is that every single broker account is different. They have been set up differently. They have different margins. They have different leverage. They have different. There is something different in every broker account. Sometimes they close earlier on a Friday. They open later on a Monday. There is something different. You cannot simply copy another trader onto your account and expect the same results. Sadly, that is not true. Also, when copying, there's a latency problem in that you might be entering a second or two later than the trader is. So forget about that because of the differences in broker accounts that you are using. Okay, so let's move on. Here's another one. You can trust and rely on everything that you read and see. So what traders do, they read about an EA. They hear how fantastic it is. They trust all that information, and then they go and buy the EA and it fails. And the reason is that information is not provided to deceive you. It's basically saying this robot was successful last year, but there are no guarantees that it'll be successful in the future. So what you have to do, you have to take responsibility for that robot, tune it into your broker account, and then find the strategies that you feel comfortable with trading that particular robot. So you've got to take ownership. You can't say, oh, I trust this guy's settings, which we already discussed don't work, or this guy's settings, and I will make a fortune. Right, next point. Robot trading takes the emotion out of trading. There are no psychological challenges to contend with. Believe me, robot trading can have higher emotional and psychological content in it. When a robot starts trading badly, your mind can go into a spin and say, what can I do? What should I do? Should I stop trading? Should I cut it? And you start thinking on those kind of terms. So robot trading is still emotional. There are psychological aspects to it. In fact, a lot more, because most traders try and perfect their robot trading, and there's a law of diminishing returns when you do that. All right, let's move on. As long as the robot is successful, you will make money. Not so. I have seen more blown accounts with highly successful robots than unsuccessful robots. And the reason for that is that when you have a successful robot, traders take chances. They use accounts that are too small. They assume success from day one, and they use the incorrect position sizing. And if you do that with a successful robot, you will blow your account. You'll run out of margin. As simple as that. So don't believe that the success of the robot is the only factor that will make you successful. Next point. Your broker's historic data is the best for evaluating robots. Now, I can tell you now, your broker data is possibly the worst data you can use for evaluating robots, because it doesn't contain tick data information. Now, tick data information is the actual changes in prices as they happen. So if you look at a candle, that is what your broker information contains. If you look at the hour candle, it only contains the opening price, the high, the low, and the closing price. So we don't know whether the price went low first and then went high and then closed, or went high, low, and then closed. So there is this unreliability of broker data. Also, it doesn't contain tick data, so you're losing out on a lot of information. Broker data is very bad. Also, the quantity of data, broker data, is sometimes very restricted. Sometimes the 1 minute time frame can only go for about 5 days, or the 5 minute can only go for a week or two. So the quantity of the data is poor, and the quality is poor. So don't rely on your broker data. You actually need to use tick data when testing and optimizing your robots. The next point, you don't need to know much about your actual robot to make money. And that's true in the short term. Again, you can plug the thing in, you can be lucky, and it can make a lot of money. But when you get to the point of it's suddenly not performing as you thought it would, what must you do? What can you change? That kind of thing. You need to know what makes the robot tick. What are the sensitive settings, and you need to be able to change that robot or take action to prevent your account getting hurt. So you do need to know how the robot works, and it's not that simple. You just need to know how it enters deals, how it exits deals, how it manages deals, and so on. So you have to make that effort. You cannot treat the robot as a black box. And I've got lots more, but I think the length of the video would become too long. Now, here are some basic things you need to know about your robot. If you are going to be trading your robot seriously, and you are looking at creating robot trading as a serious hobby, or a supplemental income, or even a career as a robot trader. So I'm going to just go through these. They might sound overwhelming, but all very successful robot traders know this about their robots. They know what the robot does, how the robot enters, exits, and manages trades. They know which market conditions are best for the robot, which types of currencies are best for the robot, what type of time frames are best, which strategies can be traded. Many robots have many strategies. Which settings are the most important ones that can make a big difference to your profit or less? Which settings do not matter? There are settings that no matter what you do, that they're not going to change your profitability. Know the functionality of all the settings. You need to know what the potential of the robot is, and that's simple. You optimize the robot. You know what account size is best for the robot. Again, that comes from optimization techniques and testing techniques. What position size is good for risk management? Again, as I mentioned earlier, position sizing and account sizing are the main causes of failure amongst experienced traders. Then you know how the tested results compare to other robots. So you can't just take a robot and say this is going to be my robot. You've got to compare it with other robots. Your robot might be really poor compared to other robots. So they compare other robots, and which data to use to test the robot. In other words, I mentioned earlier, you don't use the broker data. And then how the robot performs on your particular broker account. Not in general, your particular, because that broker account represents the live account that you're going to be using to trade the robot. So you need to tune it in to your broker's settings. Then how your robot complements other robots. So you might have a trending robot and you might have a sideways robot. They might hedge or complement each other. You need to understand those dynamics. How many open trades are possible when trading your robot? You need to know, because your broker has a limit on open trades, and also the number of open trades will stretch your account size requirements and margin requirements. Which brokers are best to use for the robot? For instance, US brokers are basically not suitable for many of the expert Forex robots. Then you need to know how to design a meaningful test and optimization template. A template is what you test the robot on when using the strategy tester. You create a template and you say, I want to test these settings and to what extent you want to. That is a skill and an art that you need to develop. You need to know how to find the best settings. Now, the best settings aren't normally the higher settings. The best settings are normally the ones that have a good return but have a low drawdown. Then you need to know how the robot, this particular one that you're working with, fits into your live trading plan. In other words, are you going to use one robot and trade a number of strategies? Are you going to use a number of robots and trade selective strategies at all? You need to know what role this particular robot plays in your overall plan. You need to know what to do when things go wrong. The type of things that you could do is could range from changing the settings to actually replacing the robot with another robot. So you need to know when things go wrong, and you need to know that before you start trading. Remember, I mentioned about emotions. You need to take emotions out of your trading by making your decisions before things happen. So if things start going wrong, you must have a plan that says, oh, if this happens, I'm going to do that. Take the emotion out of it. Do your thinking when you're not emotional. Okay, you need to know how to resolve error messages. All robots will run into an error message now and then. You need to know how to resolve that. You need to know how to resolve technical errors. Again, technical errors do occur in the testing process, in the optimization process, and as well as the trading process. You need to know how to resolve them, and you're not the one that needs to. You need to know where to go to resolve those issues. And then you need to know how to manage and monitor the results. In other words, you need to look at your portfolio. You need to know which ones are the good performers, which ones are the poor performers, and you need to manage that dynamically. And then there are many, many more things that you need to know if you want to be an above average robot trader. But don't worry. Be happy, because there is a solution to all of this. So we do have a 0 to hero robot trading course that literally takes a beginner, and hopefully a beginner with no major baggage and misconceptions in their mind, and it will take you to a hero situation where you are trading the very best settings and strategies in your live portfolio. So here is the course. If you would like to do that course, there is the link to the course. As it says here, you can learn lifelong money making skills. You can avoid all the costly losses. Now, many of the misconceptions I mentioned before result in amazing losses. You can learn the critical robot trading skills that I've mentioned earlier. You can make money in your sleep, because once you've set up a portfolio of robots, you can literally make money in your sleep. If the market starts trending, you have robots that deal with that. If the market starts consolidating, you have robots for that. So you can actually make money in your sleep. And the most important thing is that you will learn not to rely on others for your financial success. You will be a master of your own, because you'll have those skills to manage those robots accordingly. Now, I hope you found this video interesting, and it is a very serious matter. Robot traders come into this business with a lot of baggage, a lot of misconceptions, and unfortunately they find those out the hard way. Robot trading is not difficult, but it is not easy. You need to put a bit of effort in, and you need to do things thoroughly. So from me, Alex Deploy, cheerio. Yeah.